So I have like no idea what time it is. On a completely different schedule nowadays, going to bed early and waking up early. So I thought we'd talk about willpower today. Power of action or non-action. Dude, I've been through like so much craziness in my life. Like having been, so I had been the whole entire, after I graduated college, I had become the whole entire film department, pre production, production, and post production for the Compressed Gas Association, who my dad had worked for and was the president of, at the time was vice president. And he had hired an assistant for me to go out in the field and do video shoots at like Roberts Oxygen and Air Gas and all these places. Eventually, I had made, after 4 years, I had made a training video for engineers to save lives, basically. So I made the video. A bunch went to the Air Force. Legally, you're supposed to get kickbacks from this. I was supposed to be getting kickbacks, which is profit from the movie coming in all the time. Since then, I got fired. I got laid off on my 28th birthday because they didn't want to pay me my paycheck. And I called them out on it, and then they fired me and accused me of fraud. How freaking ironic. So, and that was an interesting day. Same day, 28th birthday, I start going home, and some weird dude just literally slams his car into my car. I'm telling you, my life is like something out of a friggin' movie sometimes. I'm like, what the hell? And then I called 911, and the cops just laughed at me. When obvious, my blue paint was on his white car. But you know, who cares? Happy birthday, right? And then I went home. So that was a very interesting 28th birthday. Willpower is the fact that I still have that knowledge and that I could still. It was so weird because I remember leaving the office at the time, thinking in the back of my head, I didn't want my dad to get fired because he had to provide for his family. Anyway, it's just funny how things happen. But the fact that I went through that and still got my traumatized ass home back to my Sterling house, that's willpower. I don't know, and then I didn't have a job, so I started babysitting for one of my neighbor's kids. And she lived a couple houses down from me, and she was a nurse. She had to go to work. Or she was, actually, no, she used to be a nurse. She was a special ed teacher at the time and had to go to the high school. So when she would still be there and the kids would come home, I'd go over and, I'd paint her kitchen and took care of her kids. Her kids started calling me mom, you know. One day, Trevor had run out the house into the parking lot, and I chased after him. And I'd stepped off the ledge of the door jamb, and I like stepped, and it twisted my ankle, like cracked the freaking bone in half. Didn't it was bad. Like I can handle pain, but that was bad. And I fell, and I yelled out the F word really loud. And Trevor was like right there holding the screen door, and he's like, "Miss Heather, are you okay?" And I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "Don't repeat that." I was like, "Just give me a second." So, for 6 months, I had picked up two more jobs, and 24/7 was working in babysitting and taking care of my house, my townhouse, and was renting out a couple rooms to some couples downstairs in the basement who needed a place to stay. Meanwhile, I'm like vacuuming at Charlotte Russe in the mall, closing up the freaking place, and I'm like, my foot really fucking hurts. So I go to the doctor, get an X-ray, and he's like, you have a really high threshold for pain. He goes, how long? Did you say that this happened? I don't know, like 6 months ago. He's like, Heather, you shattered the bone. So he takes me, and he showed me it, and the bone was literally like off, and like the bone splints, and he's like, how the fuck? So he's like looking at my foot and like literally like it's sticking out. Like my ankle. I don't know if you can see it, but as far as my ankle was, like it was sticking out like right here, but like on my left side. So I was like, yeah. So the fucked up part is when I go to get surgery, I'm laying on my back in a gown, and they said, which foot do we need to fix? I said, how do you not know? I said, I'm a little concerned now. Maybe I should go somewhere else. She goes, just tell me which one. So I start praying, like, oh my God. All right, go with God on this one, because obviously these are amateurs. So she gets a black magic marker out and writes on my left foot, this one. And then she writes on the other one, not this one. And I'm like, oh dear God. So like I wake up at some point, I don't even remember. I think my boyfriend at the time, Steve, had driven me home. He's probably laughing up in heaven right now. So, because we had taken his daughter, I had to have like 4 different casts, and you can imagine the leg hair after that. But we took his daughter at the time. She was like 4, and she's like, "Whoa, it's all hairy." I was taking care of his daughter while he was cheating on me. So it's been a very interesting. It was definitely, my 30s were definitely filled with lots of stuff, and again the willpower thing of, you know, mind over matter, so to speak, and where do you take these? Like, obviously, I'm very resilient, you know. You can do anything, man, and those are just a few examples of things that I have been through that, you know, it's like, seems impossible, and obviously it's not. So if that helps give you guys some motivation, I hope it does. It's in me. So I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a good day.